Are you trying to co-parent with a narcissistic ex? If you are, then you already know it's impossible. They don't co-parent, they counter-parent. So in this video, I want to talk to you about what you should be doing instead. But first, will you do me a favor and subscribe to my channel? That's how these videos are going to get in front of more of the people who really need to hear this information. I'm Victoria McCooey. I'm a narcissist divorce coach, a motivational speaker, and the creator of the Reclaim Your Power system. I help people every day who are right where you are, stuck in a toxic marriage to a narcissistic spouse, or already engaged in a contentious divorce from one. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that a narcissist cannot co-parent. They can only counter-parent. Everything they do in the co-parenting space is a strategic move to manipulate you or control you or manipulate some other outcome. Nothing is coming from a place of caring about the children because they have no empathy. So people are always asking me, I don't understand, how can they not care enough about their own children that they would put them in such a horrible position, do so much harm to them, use them as pawns? This should come as no surprise because the narcissist lacks empathy. He has or she has no moral compass, has no sense of fairness, and they don't see their own children even as separate individuals. They only see children as possessions, as extensions of themselves. They're only there for the narcissist's benefit, to be used in any way the narcissist sees fit. So if you're expecting that Hollywood version of co-parenting, where you help each other out, you all have brunch together, you say, oh, don't worry, Johnny left his book at my house, but I'm gonna swing by and drop it off for you. Don't hold your breath. That is never going to happen with a narcissist. Everything is going to be in an attempt to further abuse you. So I hear what you're saying. You're going, well, great, I'm here now. I finally got a divorce from this toxic person. I am finally out of that toxic marriage. And now you're telling me there's no hope. I'm just going to be abused more through the children and they're going to be in harm's way. But no, there is a solution. It's not perfect, but it is certainly better than trying to co-parent, and that is parallel parenting. So let's talk about what that means. When the children are with their other parent, then that parent parents their way on their time. When they're with you, you parent your way on your time. You don't give any more information to the other parent than is absolutely necessary. Only very urgent or logistic information, only things that are absolutely imperative that they know. Nothing else. Nothing for them to use to sabotage you. You don't ask the other parent for favors, and you don't offer to do favors for the other parent. You go strictly by your agreement. You don't waver. You just parent on your time, and you have as little interaction as you possibly can outside of that. There is one caveat here. If you're still under a microscope, if you're still using a parenting app, or if a court is still involved, or if you're worried that a court might not understand your motivation, because let me tell you, family courts do not get this. They do not get how you continue to be abused by a co-parent. So you might have to do it a little differently. You might have to pretend to be more cooperative, more collaborative, friendlier in your language. If you're using a parenting app, you'll put into the parenting app, something in a friendlier tone about whatever the urgent thing is that you need to convey, but you're still not going to give any other information. When you have to answer something in a parenting app, you're going to sound friendly and collaborative, but it's not really the case. You have to do this because the family courts just allow further abuse from the abuser on the victim by insisting that or keep trying to co-parent with a person who is absolutely counter-parenting, using that information to hurt, to continue to hurt the victim, to continue to abuse, manipulate, trigger. They really still are not very sensitive to that. So you kind of have to take matters into your own hands and pretend to being the kind of co-parent that they're expecting you to be, but really what's happening behind the curtain is that you're not letting out any information that can be used against you. You're not giving them any rope to hang you with. You're not giving them any more information that they can front run or sabotage or degrade you for. And then if your kids are old enough to try to enlist you to help them with something going on with the other parents, you can't allow it. You can't do it. You have to say things like, what goes on at dad's house or what happens on mom's time is their decision. And you have to work that out with them, or I can't get involved with that, right? So you don't try. I know it's hard. I know you want to help your children, but this is their journey. That is their parent. And that is a fact that you can never change. That is their parent, and they're going to have to figure out how to work with that parent, even though it might break your heart that they're not being parented the way you want them to when they're not with you. But that is how it is. And the more space, the more distance you can put between yourself and your abusive ex-partner, the better for the children. So what if there is something that is just catastrophic in your opinion, something that cannot go overlooked, that you can't dismiss, that you feel like you must get involved with? I understand that may come up, but you have to pick your battles. If there is that thing that you absolutely have got to make known to a court or get involved with or try to protect your children around, then pick that as your battle and make that your crusade to fix that. But you have to let everything else go. If this is you, if you're trying to share custody with a toxic ex-partner, book an initial call with me. I would love to try to help. There will be a link in the description below where you can get right on my calendar. Or maybe you're still in this toxic marriage. Maybe you don't see a way out. Maybe you are looking for information, but you think, I don't know the first step to take. This just seems completely undoable, overwhelming, too big for me to even think about doing. I know that feeling. I was there too. I have the perfect program for you if that's where you are. It's called Narcissist Divorce Bootcamp. I will also put a link below where you can find out all about that group program, get the details, and register for it if you like. Did you find this information helpful? I sure hope you did. If you liked this video, will you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe? Thanks so much for watching. I've linked a couple of other videos here that I think you might also like, so I hope I see you in the next video.